у меня для тебя одно важное признание. В отличие от тебя 3-летнего, я 40-летний лоб. Играть в шахматы не умею. Поэтому мы тебе нашли достойного противника. Я приглашаю в эту студию 12-го чемпиона мира по шахматам, международного гроссмейстера, заслуженного мастера спорта СССР Анатолия Карпова.
Russians, man. They don't give a fuck. That kid is done. Poor kid. That poor kid, his hero. Oh, probably was his hero. Comment to fuck. Can you imagine, like, being a child prodigy chess player and thinking you were just gonna play chess with, like, some dipshit television host, only to be debated into sitting down and playing with, like, world-renowned chess player who was, like, probably your hero, who then kicks your shit in as a child prodigy chess star? I'm gonna keep him humble, though. Russians are like, this kid is too good, gotta teach him that life is shit. True. Season 2 of The Queen's Gambit. Crowder knows exactly how the kid feels. Yeah, the difference is that this is a fucking kid and Steven Crowder's a grown-ass man. Alright, chat. Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of the H3 Podcast. Today's my first ever debate against the one and only Steven Crowder. Thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Please stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand up.
Ethan, oh man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great, glorious leader? Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic, I mean, pretty much hits every box. We made this big, beautiful compilation of some of his greatest hits, but it's actually so heinous and offensive that YouTube age-restricted the first upload of our video. So that all is available for our members, with the whole compilation and everything, which is, adds a lot of atmosphere. But for the sake of this version, we had to cut all of that out. But he is, let's just take my word for it in that case, a giant douche. Well, my tiff with Steven came when he said that our clip about COVID, when we were saying it's okay to listen to scientists, said it was his favorite clip of all time. We went back and forth for people who have been following, and Steven boldly challenged me to a debate and a video titled, Your Move, Ethan.
I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show.
Darren's his dad, by the way, right? Just say your dad, bro. He keeps trying to hide that it's his dad. You guys will get more info about the dad. But Darren's his dad.
We usually go after political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians, scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path.
Yeah, Change My Mind is literally you setting up shop in a fucking college, on a college campus, and looking to talk to kids who might not have even taken so much as a political science 101 course to engage in political discourse with them based entirely on the premise that you have entered a college campus, you will be met with harsh criticism because of the liberal indoctrination that these kids have been subjected to, and then you cherry pick uneducated kids on the topic that you are suggesting they talk about, and then you put that on your YouTube channel. It's a really strange kind of exploitation, a human gaslight. It's a very strange way to exploit kids by using, these one-liners that are meant to rub one the wrong way because it is so it is an intriguing topic that might be widely discussed online or in popular culture, and then you make it a very easy topic of contention that is driven by an emotional response where literal children do not have the empirical evidence or the knowledge to really inform their rebuttal, and you exploit that. I don't know exactly how you feel like you are making a difference on college campuses. It's a very cheap kind of thrill that you engage in, Steven Crowder. Everyone cherry picks an open forum public debate. Okay, fine, be that as may. Thoughts on Mark Lamont Hill?
Who just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
I'm going to assume that you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you said, that you're just really lazy or incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
That's a no.
Never.
No, I'm a
Never.
sexist.
Now you're either lying.
I'm a sexist piece of shit. I would never have a female booker on my show. Come on, it's my dad. He just kind of has like a quick wit about him based on probably the quality of the editing that goes on behind the scene. But I'm a racist, sexist boy. A lot of these right-wingers, they appear to be much more intelligent than they really are because they seem very quick-witted in their responses. They might speak at a faster pace, and that is mistaken for intelligence, right? And I hate that. Just because you can seemingly string together a sentence together doesn't mean that you are making an actual coherent, cohesive thought. Confidence is not intellect, true. He's a failed comedian like Dave Rubin. He keeps that quick wit all video. Oh, let's keep going.
With women on this show.
Let's keep going.
So that's impossible.
Or you're so lazy. Because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us moved. You're so lazy, you didn't even just verify the fact that it was complete.
Well, you know what? I took this to heart. So I said, you know what, Stephen? I am going to look into this. I found the email that was sent to me. It was very professional. And it still had her social media
articulation does
it.
help.
And so I followed her down on Instagram, and I said, hey, blank, did you ever do booking for Louder with Crowder? I'm just trying to verify that this email I got from you inviting me on the show is real or not. Thanks. Here's the email, by the way. Super professional. Definitely a real email, by the way. This one in particular, she immediately responded to me. She said, yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure whose contact you'd have now.
Sometimes I
know his dad.
Sometimes I say sentences that are so long that by the end of the sentence, I already forgot how I started, and I have to say, wait, what have I just said? I do the same thing, Sebstab, and it's not necessarily intentionally gish galloping. It's just being incredibly detailed oriented. and having complex. It's really having complex. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, it's because my thoughts are so complex. It's because if you have multiple, if you are trying to put together a thought based on complex issues, and you are by your very nature a detailed oriented person, then you might come across as a little bit more talkative or verbose. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just requires you to be a little bit more concise in your articulation of the point that you're trying to make. And it takes a little bit of practice. I get where you're coming from. I think it's really easy to kind of get ahead of yourself and, you know, have a little bit of a difficult time simplifying the complexities of your thoughts. That does lead to perplexing your audience, right? A lot of it's down to rhetorical skills. Yes.
Does his booking for him, though. Let me know if you need to try his finest contact. Interesting that she knows that detail. That makes me think that is very real. And that he's lying about inviting me on his show. How odd. Well, yeah, and while we're talking about lying, Steven, why don't you tell him that you never filed a lawsuit? Tell us if you filed that lawsuit against YouTube, Steven. Come on, be honest with your viewers.
Thoughts on moisture?
And you know, Steven says he doesn't want to bully me, but here he goes on to say this, and I am feeling very insecure now that Steven has taken a shot at me.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first of all, you have...
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Steven had Kleenex on his table, which is pretty funny, let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue. I mean, what is he, crying every second? So listen to this.
Out of here. That's due to allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines in a mutable condition. It's genetic.
Oh, poor Steven with his allergies. Don't put the tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like
Sure.
the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
That one I didn't get. What's the 120-pounder? Cinderella?
I couldn't really
If
follow.
he's talking about me, I am not 120 pounds. Trust me, dude. We don't have a right. Well, anyway,
And to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the
That's my
eyebrow phrase
favorite.
like E.T. in the cornfield? It's so stupid, bro. The point is,
I always think it's like hilarious when people actually go to the debase themselves to making fun of my Tourette's. You know, it's like, well, okay, dude. I really got you hard with the tissue thing, bro. Just don't put the tissue on. I can't hide my Tourette's.
You fired the first volley by making fun of his allergies. So
Your allergies, dude. Poor
Which you didn't
Steven Crowder
actually
has
do.
a disability.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
realize
you
he had a
know.
disability like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
Ableist month.
I had all that coming. Yeah. I am deeply offended, though, at the bullying.
All right, so Jay did let me know that Liv and TYT rated as Lumi was rating Amy. Thank you so much, Lumi, for the raid. Hi, raiders, how are you doing? My name is Amy C3. Quick introduction. I am a leftist housing advocate here on Twitch. All right, I'm ahead of myself. They aren't here yet. Oh, this is weird. Now I'm just going to be waiting for them. No, it's okay. Okay, everyone, pretend like, shh, get in places, everyone. Act surprised. It's practice. Hi, everyone. It's like you ruined the surprise. All right, everyone, act normal, okay?
Portrayed, and I take absolute cross with that. You know, and Dan had this one moment that actually went a little bit viral in the political community.
Lumi, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, raiders. How are you doing? If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Amy C3. I'm a leftist housing advocate here on Twitch, We are right now covering the Steven Crowder, Sam Seder debate that H3 Productions facilitated. Lumi, I hope that you had a fantastic stream today. Thank you so much for the suggestion. I had a really good time on Prime Kai's panel today. Thank you so much again for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Get cozy. Let's do a wellness check for the Raiders. Hi, Raiders.
That Steven notably ignored during our tit for tat. I'll play it for you here. And this is where I'm leading to.
A lot of people, but just because I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, and you know, but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam. So
and notably, he doesn't include this. He watches the whole clip, but not the debate Sam Seder.
Weird he didn't cover that part. He went into a lot of detail on everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exhaustive detail.
Huh.
Now, who is Sam Seder? Sam Seder is the host of a political left-leaning show called The Majority Report. Has 1 million subs. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam at Politicon, earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad. Sam secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event, who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I think you're bigger. Yeah,
I didn't know all this.
What his team is doing around him, and that's just for me to speculate.
Oh, H3 posted their cut. Crowder's releasing his 10 a.m. Okay. So it's going to be interesting to watch this debate from various angles. Right now, we are watching the H3 version of the debate, and Crowder is going to be releasing his version of the debate tomorrow at 10. This is the lore? The lore? Crowder's going to have Don Jr. on tomorrow, too?
At this point, I don't know.
He has a team? He has a whole team, and he won't do it? He could bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Boy.
By the way, everyone seems to be affirming that it's his dad doing all this shit behind the scenes somehow. So people speculate that he actually backed out of the debate because Sam is actually, an informed, good debater, and they were afraid that, Crowder would look like an idiot. And so he backed out at the last minute at the behest of his...
because debating Sam Seder is a lot different than debating a random college kid at a liberal arts campus. And even Steven Crowder's dad knew the risks of debating an intellectually sound person from the opposite end of the political spectrum who knows how to engage in political discourse the way that 20-year-olds never could. Lucia, thank you so much, love, for resubscribing 7 months in a row. Thank you for your kind words. That's a boogies. This is a feast for drama frogs. Oh no, are we being drama froggy? Are we drama frogs now? I guess we are. I guess that's what's happening.
Father. The thing is, he's happy to challenge me, somebody that has no political knowledge, very little. I don't spend my day talking and thinking about politics, nor am I a debater, nor am I, let's be honest, intelligent. So let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with...
Good point, Life on the Couch. Also, who knows how many smart college kids who schooled Crowder that had their edits cut.
The topics, who does spend their time thinking about politics, and who is, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show. And I've always said this, I always respect people who enter into the arena. And, we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Dan,
what we were going
whenever
to talk
you're
about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree
Crowder
with that.
sounds a little nervous.
I think
I
people
mean,
should
I sound
think
really
about it, I
nervous
believe.
whenever I'm on panels
And we
too.
talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you? I said I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own
I gotta
fighting.
say,
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
Yes,
at the
include
beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah,
was-
Joe Rogan and Ben and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
Not just
Sam
attempting to get
Seder.
your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues. Let's
about
talk
issues,
about those
yeah.
issues.
That's
I
what
think
you're
you have
doing
some
here.
valid
Yeah.
points.
You're
that
so
I think we
clever.
should
I had no
discuss.
idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every
Oh no!
You take those off with the velveteen
really are.
buttons.
We must have been
Black
very
eyes,
worried about
aren't
this,
they? Like
Stephen. I don't know why.
No
it would
one's
be
worried
Oh, come
about
on,
it.
Sam.
I didn't want to
Well,
do
let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If no
on. Just
one's
I'll tell you what.
worried,
I have a
let's do this.
general
This is a
rule.
great
I
opportunity
don't start a
to-
debate based with people on a lie. And how
Or
about you get
sabotaging.
How about you get
Stephen,
to a
show
30th
yourself,
of the
you
audience
coward.
share?
Stephen, show yourself.
30th
Don't show
of the
your
audience.
co-host.
Ethan, you should show
Steven,
yourself.
excuse-
What do you mean he's stalking him out of fear? What does that even mean? He's off camera. Yeah, so obviously the second he saw that he was set up and that he would actually be debating Sam Seder, they had to make some major changes, cut away from Steven Crowder. And this is what's happening. Notice Crowder just insults people when he has nothing to say. For those who don't know, H3 ambushed Crowder by inviting Sam Seder on. We're seeing a play out, yes. Run it back. He knows when Sam runs long and cuts... Wait. Run it back. He knows when Sam runs long or cuts MR shorts.
What we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened.
He admitted he knew Sam ended his show early.
I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare.
Stephen.
I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
He admits to faking a
This is
medical
where we
emergency
are.
to
Yeah,
dodge Sam Seder.
Dave, remember I told you? I said I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues.
Stephen,
Ethan
you know
Klein
what?
doesn't stand up and do his own
Funny, I gotta
fighting.
say,
It's just hilarious.
my
Let's bring on
producers
FM.
that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the the point that you made
Yes,
at the
that's
beginning
right.
of
Joe
this
Rogan.
was-
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting
Sam
to get
Seder.
your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues.
Who's the guy
What's about
on Crowder
issues?
Green? I think this is like one of his cronies who like is a co-host on the show who kind of like, you know, has pipes up every now and again to say something that is either, you know, racist. He kind of adds to like the touting of racist jokes during the during Crowder's show. He's kind of like the I don't know, the wingman.
Issues.
That's what you're
that's
doing
some
here.
Valid
Yeah.
points.
You're
that
so
I think we
clever.
should
I had no
discuss.
idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every
He's like a hype
those
man.
off of the
Okay,
velvet
hype man.
We must have been
Black
very
eyes,
worried about
aren't
this,
they? Like
Stephen. I don't know why.
no
it would
one's
be
worried
Oh, come
about
on,
it.
Sam.
I didn't want to
Well,
do
let's
it.
have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If
on.
no
Just
one's
I'll tell you
worried,
what. I
let's
have a
do
general.
this.
I have a general.
This is a
rule.
great
I don't
opportunity
start a
to-
debate based with people on a lie. And how
Or
about you get to a,
sabotaging.
how about you get to
Steven,
a
show
30th
yourself,
of the
you
audience
coward.
share?
Steven, show yourself.
30th
Don't show
of the
your
audience.
co-host.
Ethan, you should show
Steven,
yourself.
excuse-
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Steven,
so
Steven,
strongly
you
that
are
you're
such
not
a
willing to
coward. Stop
debate.
showing your little
I
leprechaun
thought you
co-host who
would
comes
welcome-
out dressed
Hey,
like
Ethan,
your
Ethan, come on,
sidekick.
Ethan. Why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy who has
Steven.
a 30th of the
I'm really
Why
viewership?
are
of
you-
this
Saddest
show?
thing I've ever heard. So you have a
Just
guy
show
with
Steven.
less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't.
Well, obviously,
don't
if
you
I'm
get
a,
so-
Apparently he
if,
had to think
obviously
about
I'm
it,
a,
bro.
if I'm a layup
Yeah,
and
you
not a
didn't think
debater.
about it.
Well, look,
Yeah,
you're the
I
one
mean,
who
You're
called. You're the one who got
started
thirsty.
debate.
You started
the one that got angry about
Show
it.
Steven. Don't be
Hold on
such a
second. All
coward.
right, hold on a second. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
Show
But
Steven.
Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially
Thank
I came
you.
on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just
What's
like
the
you
lie?
claiming my Ethan.
What's the
You
lie?
claiming my
What's the
booker
lie,
reached
Steven?
out to you, Ethan, when you
Steven,
know that's
what's the
not
lie?
true. There's no
What's
one
the
ducking
lie?
you,
Why
Sam.
are you
I've
so
never
afraid?
Sam,
Yo,
Sam,
listen,
Sam,
I
Sam,
think
Sam,
you're
Sam.
a smart
I
guy.
can call out
I
Mike
don't
Tyson.
understand why
It doesn't mean that I'm
you are
ducking
so
him.
worried about this.
Why do you
I
feel that?
honestly
Why do you
don't.
feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the
I
show
don't think anybody
for 10
owes me
times as longer?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't
Right.
ask him for it, and
Right.
so
No, you've been begging
the
for
real
it for a long
question
time
is,
with everyone
Steven,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so
Yeah, he found
worried
he
about
can't build an
engaging with me?
audience, and so what
Why
happens is
are
he
you
uploads
so
15
worried about-
times more,
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's
Do
why
you-
he
Less
wants
than
to
a
debate
50th.
you,
I don't
so
think
he
that's
can
true
build
either.
his.
Sam,
Do you
Sam,
think
come on.
your audience
Yeah,
cares
yeah.
that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million
I think.
subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your
don't think
question?
they
Can I
do.
answer your question? Can I answer your question? Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben
Well, now
Shapiro's
they
and
all
Dave
know
Rubin.
who I am.
Now they
You
all know
just
who you
introduced
are
me.
because you had to
Your
shoehorn
audience
yourself
watches
into another coward
yourself.
show.
Do another
Students,
show.
Oh my
every day that you
God.
do that,
Why are
change
we?
my
Hold on a
mind.
second. Hold on
They
a second.
don't know who those college
This is another
students
lie.
are.
This is another lie.
What possible
Let
difference would
me
it be?
clarify, Sam. Let me clarify.
Exactly.
Sam. To change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
Exactly. That's the 100%. Like, get him in, get his ass, Sam Seder, because fucking Steve Crowder exploits unsuspecting college kids, calls it content, and has received accolades he absolutely does not deserve based on dunking on liberal college kids who have absolutely no social media credentials whatsoever. So poor form to even attempt to make this argument that debating Sam Seder is beneath me because his viewership is much lower than mine or the likes of me. Fuck all that. That's not the real reason why Sam Crowder refuses to debate Sam Seder. Steve Crowder refuses to debate Sam Seder. We all know it.
How did you
Professors
know
on the-
I ended
This is
my
what
show
he's not
early
gonna talk.
last week, Stephen? If your audience
because
doesn't even
you're
know
an
me,
idiot
how
and
did you
half
know
of your
that?
staff
Do
doesn't
you watch
like
my
you.
show?
Because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard
Well,
fan.
if you're
Yeah,
a
I've heard
diehard
of you,
fan,
but I just
why-
met you.
why not
Congratulations,
have me
Sam Seder's
and
fan.
Stephen
I'm just
have
a
a
huge
conversation.
fan.
I will
like-
Well,
talk
right now,
about
every
the
time I
issues
try and
that you
talk, you're
want to talk
interrupting,
about,
Sam.
Stephen.
any-
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're
Keep an
interrupting,
eye
Sam.
out on
Started
this.
the show.
Okay,
You
go
bombarded-
ahead.
Interesting that they seemingly don't care about Sam Seder because of his lower viewership or subscriptions, but they seem to keep an eye on him. They really do seem to keep close tabs on this Sam Seder fellow.
You bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed that just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me.
Oh, is that what they told you? Well, so you're just lazy with your research?
And if Big Tech is...
You continue with the lie. You need to research and say, did Stephen ever accept...
They said you were
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Hey,
whoa,
Sam,
and you literally
Sam, sweetheart. Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let me finish.
I'm not a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining, which may explain the audience.
Irony alert, Stephen.
Comedian.
How much have you watched of my stuff, Stephen, that you think that your audience
can I answer your question?
Appreciate our discussing things?
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? As a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay and they're full of losers. And you've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
Told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and gossip.
How can you say
I've never met more of a woman
career when he wants to keep debating?
I don't know.
All right,
let's talk about the issue.
So, Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan,
about the vaccine? Because
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation? You're going to hide.
Absolutely, I do.
So why are you hiding behind Sam Seder?
No, me and Sam are aligned. I'm not hiding. He just,
well, you're just a liar. So you're a liar. Because remember we said, hold on a second.
I mean, you know that Crowder's mad because he really did think that he could get one over on Ethan Klein, right? He was really banking on the lack of political know-how espoused by Ethan Klein, and that is the only reason why Crowder would have even agreed to this in the first place. Crowder just called Sam a woman as an insult. Racist, sexist boy.
Feels like
it's
you
ridiculous.
Guys are the ones who are hiding.
Really? No, this is actually
who snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who never appears on stage, never does a live show,
but it's
never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program. It's just hiding. Right. Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven, you're wearing a holster.
Yeah, we agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. Yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
You're talking about comedy.
I don't like how he's being really mean to Sam, and Sam's like obviously able to take it, but they're being really mean to Sam Seder, and I don't like it.
Bro.
Also, your sponsor is Spartan.
He takes advantage of mentally ill women for a show.
It's about gay boy love.
Okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have a wonderful highlight reel.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on. Let me make one point, Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven, don't bail.
I appreciate it.
Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam. One thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
Hold on.
One thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
We just want to see.
I just want to see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Or if there's a soul.
Let's debate.
Take off the glasses.
Let's debate, Steven.
Don't hide behind the glasses.
Don't be a coward.
Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost.
Debate the issues. What does it matter who you debate, coward?
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah. You can run away.
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow.
Wait, he didn't even debate. Okay, so
I
he
can't
didn't
believe
even
he admit to the following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
He admitted that he watched the show last week.
We got him. Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
Oh my God, we fucking nailed him.
Holy shit. So do you want to respond to... Here, you want to throw him up, Dan? Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Well, I mean, look, he's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want
He rescheduled because he saw Sam end his show early last week.
to do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched, I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder, and Crowder left. And so, I think Stephen is afraid of debating somebody. Look, I do a political show every day. It's dry,
I don't.
It's boring,
it's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference between me and anybody in the world?
I mean, only that he is convinced that for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case.
But
I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine. I thought Kirk did a fairly good job. I think Stephen's not a total idiot, but I also do think he's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the email, super professional. So I was like, I reached out to the girl. She said, I said, did you send me this email? She said, yes, I did. Years ago, for a few months, I worked for Steven Crowder booking. I'm not quite sure who you'd contact now. I know his dad does the booking for him. Let me know if you need me to try to find you. How would she know that if she didn't work for them?
What's funny is that when the Politicon, when the woman from Politicon called me, she also mentioned that his dad, she said his team, I think Stephen got cold feet, his team pulled him out. And I said, wait, he's got a team? And he said, well, his dad.
Right.
And,
His dad said no.
I
Don't
called
do it.
my dad to see if he could call Stephen's dad, to see if Stephen would debate me, like on some type of play date. But my father reminded me that I was a grown man and I should probably handle it myself.
Oh, that's funny. My dad is actually Zooming with his dad later today to debate this very topics. You know what else he lied about? Filing this lawsuit. There's no lawsuit he ever filed, at least that I can find in the public record.
Okay, so there's obviously no debate. So what exactly is Crowder going to talk about? I can't wait to hear how he spins this and makes it out to be... he makes himself out to be the victim. When it's, it's just... You cowered over in fear by the mere sight of Sam Seder. How exactly is this going to play out? He got ambushed by the left media. A lot of cutting, yeah. And the worst part is that he's going to try to take that approach of, I'm not going to platform a smaller left-wing person, and he's probably going to try to belittle Sam on that front. Ambushed so hard that he literally shit his doo-doo ass, says Mashed Tomatoes. Smaller left-wing people. Yes, because we all know that your value or your intellect or anything of that nature is quantified based on your number of subscriptions, and that is the primary indicator evidencing your worth. I can't believe this goes on for another 20 minutes.
Lawsuits are public record, so he is a liar. As far the evidence does suggest.
Yeah, and the thing is that, they go on and on about getting demonetized from YouTube or whatever it is, and they never, for them, it's really just a way of generating clicks. There are
the same with
policies.
the lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, there are policies that you could pursue, but he can't ever.
No, people opt to not platform me all the time because I'm a nobody. It doesn't matter. My backgrounds, my educational backgrounds, my credentials. Nobody fucking cares. If you don't have the viewership, it doesn't matter. You can be the smartest person on any fucking platform, and the likelihood that you will get a shot, very slim. I mean, that's just the reality.
Address those because his ideology is such that there's no way for him to address it as a policy matter. Because as a policy matter,
I'm also incredibly uncharismatic whenever whenever it's like one-on-one, I do a lot better. But whenever I'm on a panel, I get so scared. I get really nervous and I sound robotic. So it's not even like I perform well in these scenarios either. So it's not. Let's take that into consideration that I have nearly zero charisma whenever I attend a panel.
he'd have to agree that there needs to be government regulation of these things, and he doesn't believe in government regulation. And so he just goes out there and makes it as if it's like conservatives are somehow being oppressed, as opposed to...
It's actually...
You dropped a metric shit ton of knowledge on Prime's panel, yeah, remaining robotic like this the whole time.
Not true at all. Everybody who talks about these issues, if they're taking a conservative or liberal stance on them, they're all getting demonetized.
Finger
equally.
guns would give you a 50% charisma
The fact that
boost.
Steven wants to go out there and do a mock execution of George Floyd and then act bewildered when his channel gets when his videos get demonetized is quite surprising to me that he would even be feigned surprised at that.
Yeah, we get, I don't know what our percentage of demonetization is for our videos. It happens. We just don't whine.
I just pretend I'm another person when training or doing panels. Helps with the anxiety. I've never thought about that. Interesting.
About it like they do and use it to generate clicks. It's because we're willing to talk about topics that we know. I mean, we don't do shit like what Crowder does that are just out and out racist and homophobic, but we will talk about protests. We will talk about political situations that advertisers don't want to be a part of.
Absolutely,
and that's just part of doing the job responsibly.
Like acting, playing characters or a role. I never thought about it that way.
Understanding you're not going to be able to suck $1 out of every single bit of content if you're actually trying to make a point about issues.
And one other thing he keeps bringing up, apparently the reason he's ducked you, Sam, is because you only have 1 million subscribers.
I know it.
And I'd actually challenge somebody to go through all of the interviews he's done and find any with under 1 million, because that would be quite ironic.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that Steven has that metric, particularly since half of his, all of his Change My Minds are with college students who may not even have a YouTube channel.
Right. You have more subs than them, surely.
At least a couple more than that.
Yeah. Well, I feel we got him pretty good here, Sam.
Well, I would have liked to had an exchange of ideas with Steven, so I'm a little bit disappointed. And I know how much you were looking forward to that too. But I guess Steven is just more interested in personalities than he is actually debating issues.
Yeah.
It's sort of sad.
It is
it's
sad.
Sort of sad.
It is sad because he claims he's a political thinker, but he didn't think much in this case.
I gotta wonder if there are members of his audience right now who are probably thinking like, hey, wait a second, maybe Steven is actually afraid of having some type of exchange. I mean, he spent, how many times did he say in the preface of going on air with you, a lot of times people won't show up for debates with me. And
here we are, baby.
he only wants to debate, people who have a perspective on the left that have a YouTube channel that's over 1 million. Well, maybe you've got to expand your horizons a little bit.
Maybe you should be looking to debate people who are actually proficient in debating and the topics itself. Instead of, he referred to me as a layup, and I would agree with him in that I'm not politically savvy and I'm not a debater. So what actual value is there in debating me for him, other than for him to look smart and get an easy point?
Exactly. But let me say this, that the original points that you were making about when it came to like the masks, I've interviewed, I don't know, half a dozen.
You know why Steven Crowder was like, look, I'm not doing this? Because I think that we all kind of suspect that a lot of these right-wing hacks, they do their homework. They study up on the topic of conversations that have been bounced back and forth, in this case, the mask mandates. And Steven Crowder was only prepared to discuss his perfectly crafted, preemptive scripts that he and his team had prepared in order to easily dunk on Ethan Klein, right? I would go so far to say that a lot of these right-wing grifters, they do put in a little bit of time and effort to carefully craft what they plan to say that will allow them to seemingly win their debates with their opponent based on previous skirts or previous exchanges that have been made, and the scope of the conversation, probably in the mind of Crowder, would not go much more beyond that, especially because it has been openly discussed that Ethan Klein is not necessarily a political pundit, and that he is not well versed in the art of debates, and Crowder was not prepared to go toe-to-toe with Sam Seder, which probably is the reason why he didn't go with emotions and, accept the challenge brought forward by Sam Seder. I know that's not like a hot take or anything, but I think this is being made abundantly clear at this point. Debate me whenever, wherever. Contact my assistant for more details, who was apparently Crowder's dad.
Different epidemiologists, maybe a little bit more over the past year on the show. Some of the top epidemiologists in the country. And the fact of the matter is that there was confusion, and really not the science was not settled on the way that COVID was transferred. They didn't realize that it could be aerosolized. But the bottom line is that wearing masks, once they understood this, where the downside to wearing masks is zero.
Well, yeah, according to Steven, scientists are not ever allowed to change their mind. See, scientists need to be right the first time, and only the first time. They're not allowed to change their stance with data and research. And if they do, then they're frauds forever, for everything. Right. I mean, I even saw Steven talking about, Fauci was wrong about AIDS back in, the early 80s. And that's proof.
Right.
Fauci was wrong sometime previously in his career. So therefore, he is a fraud forever.
Speaking of fraud, I noticed that
just like Amy, what do you mean,
Crowder put up an email, making a big deal about these emails from Fauci, and one of them he put up was from February 12th, where Fauci was saying, we don't think masks for the general public is going to be that effective or make a point.
Which is what he said publicly.
Which is what he said publicly a month later. But the fact is that the development of the science behind aerosolization of the virus was an ongoing effort. It wasn't until late April that they started to realize this is the way it's going through there. And then it's not easy to take a novel new coronavirus and assess what are the size of the particles. Right. But the bottom line is, once they said do masks, it is an easy lift to wear a mask. It sucks, but it was the safest thing to do. And I'm sitting here with a study. I mean, they're really starting to come out now, that the masks cut down by anywhere from 25 to 35% on the transmission. And so the idea that there are some scientists, he talks about aggregating the science. Look, he doesn't know how to aggregate. He's afraid to debate me. And I, a guy with 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's not aggregating the science. There are professionals who aggregate the science.
Sam, do you think that the size of your sub count is there a correlation to your skills as a debater? That seems to be what Crowder's understanding is.
Exactly.
Apparently, or it's just that he is looking for any excuse as to why he doesn't want to have a conversation with somebody who actually, day in, day out, reads this stuff and talks to science.
I do think it's really interesting because on one side of this equation, you do have the Crowders of the world and any right-wing grifters who are trying to undermine the validity of any scientific claims made by those like Fauci, who was in a position, right, to inform the public based on whatever knowledge they have at that time with regard to this novel virus. And of course, it was subject to change over the course of learning more about the virus, especially when it came to the development of a vaccine, right? And there's not a lot of slack that's given to Dr. Fauci by right-wingers, right? And because Fauci has had to go back and make adjustments to his scientific claims and the best guidelines to protect and mitigate the spread of this virus, that is somehow translated into casting doubt on Fauci's abilities as the top immunologist in this country, right? Fauci is a liar. Why is Fauci a liar? Because whenever we were experiencing a shortage in masks, Dr. Fauci did not suggest that you wear a mask in public before there was a rise in mandates at the state and local level to wear a mask in all places whenever you're in the public sphere. Is that what you mean? Because during that time where there was a shortage or a perceived shortage in masks, it was to ensure that medical professionals had the necessary stock before there was before the rest of the masks were sold onto the market. Precisely because there was a consensus that if a shortage of masks is to occur, it is important that at the very least the inadequate supply of these masks go to the ones in charge of treating the virus, the hospital workers, the administrators, so on and so forth. But again, that quickly changed, right? Because it became a public health crisis, and there was plenty of evidence suggesting that wearing a mask would limit the spread of COVID. That's that. Please do a laugh. Also, Crowder, after his debating season, yeah, he did a debate theater though. That's the whole thing. There was no debate. It's not a lie to advocate for good health practices against a virus of unknown efficacy and origin. Exactly, Opie in the ocean. Thank you for triggering a hype train, by the way, everyone. Thank you, Mobius, for resubscribing. Noble Raider for subscribing. And Icy Danger for the bits.
And talks to reporters. I mean, look, you can find a lot of people who will say the Earth is flat. And if I aggregate those into all the scientists who say the Earth is in fact not flat, then you could say there's some questions. But that's not the way that science works. The fact of the matter is that we have a basic understanding of what's going on. And the idea of you saying, listen to the scientists, particularly addressing YouTube guys
Well,
Right?
yeah, when you're Steven
That's a good
Crowder,
idea.
thank you. Yeah, so obviously, our whole little battle came when Steven said it's his favorite clip of the year of us saying, "Listen, if you're like, it's okay to listen to scientists who are trying to save. It's okay. You don't need to question." Every single thing
Except
that
that
comes
thing
across
for
your
the
desk, especially if you have
videos.
no qualifications at
Good
all
for
to
Gabby
assess
King for
this
the videos.
information. The fact that we need to be skeptical of every single thing of our government, that we don't trust our government to that extent, then our society has failed
And
us.
I think that absolutely played a role in the skepticism toward the vaccine, right? Because of the doubt that was constantly cast by these right-wing grifters that we can't necessarily trust the words of our top medical professionals, Dr. Fauci included, who was tasked as the head of the COVID-19 task force because he didn't get everything exactly right. And there were some changes that he made and reforms that were made the longer we had to deal with COVID. And as we learned more about the virus, there was a little bit of a shift in the way that Fauci suggested that we, and specifically Trump, managed COVID, right? And I think that absolutely translated into doubt toward taking the vaccine, as if we needed any more anti-vaxxers to be reluctant in receiving the COVID vaccine. But I have to, maybe pontificate, if you will, on whether or not these right-wing grifters, including any big platformed YouTube guys, Joe Rogan included, that even having a shred of doubt when it came to the efficacy of the vaccine could have informed the thoughts of an impressionable person who was on the line and wavering in their decision to get the vaccine. And that's not good whenever we need everyone to participate in the vaccine program. It is the only way that we are going to truly move to eradicate this very novel virus at a global scale. Thank you, Subsdev, for the 200 biddies. Subsdev, I think you saved the hype train. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, level 1 complete. Thank you, Subsdev. So we are, we would like to think that we're reaching the endemic phase of the pandemic. Are we, though? We have these new variants. We have the Delta variants. And not knowing exactly how these mutations in the disease are going to play out, and whether or not the vaccine will be able to treat these new variants, that's yet to be seen. Now I'm just talking, and Dead Horsey's dead. All right, level 2 hype train. Thank you all. 4% down, 96% to go. Sigma COVID for Sigma males. All right, none of it. Thank you. Thank you, Rise and Return.
In a way that we should just end it now.
But I think you can be skeptical, but the fact of the matter is that what Crowder is not doing, he's not being skeptical in any type of thoughtful way. He is weaponizing doubts that happen to align with his political ideology. We saw it with the president that he was so supportive of. I mean, it's not hard to find many clips of Trump saying this is just going to go away. It's not really serious. There's only a couple of cases. We shouldn't even test.
Right.
And Crowder, that's why Crowder was doing it. I mean, if he was doing a genuinely skeptical, categorization and cataloging of the
Delta variant seems to not be affected to any single doses of any vaccine. I mean, I love horsies. They're pretty poggers. Sometimes I beat a dead horse whenever I ramble.
Science. And laying it out there in a way that showed some measure of integrity. But let's be honest. I mean, people just watch this. Crowder had the opportunity to debate this with somebody who is serious about it and wanted to debate with him. I did nothing but, approach this with a respectful manner, and he was afraid to do that because he knows he's full of it.
So
and he's just
much
delivering
so.
talking points that, his NRA buddies, give him to
Well,
go.
yeah,
with
they all it's all part of the big grift that all these conservative media. It's like you said. It's like they suck every dollar out of every controversy, and that's all that matters to him because he's got these big, beautiful leather holsters, and those things don't fill themselves. And it is worth mentioning once again that he noticed that you ended your show early last week. And
That's right.
And we specifically were like, I know he's watching because he's so afraid of Sam that we need to pre-record something, air it, so that he thinks you're live.
Right
And it
now,
worked.
as we are talking,
You're
there is a
live.
live show
Yeah,
that's
and
on.
it worked.
And he came on.
noticed.
We started the show 2 minutes early, and he did not walk on to the
Hail Mary
set
territory.
until our show was live.
So true.
And you called. I gotta say, you called it last week,
Thank
and
you.
I was like, I can't. I just don't believe that he's that nervous.
Yeah, he
about.
was. I can't believe he admitted it. What a dumbass.
Hail Mary territory.
To
Any
admit it.
saviors?
And also, like,
This hype train's about to be dead too. Any saviors in this house? I like how Ethan and Screw were all wearing holsters just to mock Crowder.
the alternative is, I think that Sam could show up.
I
And
noticed that
can't
Ethan
wait to
had one
show
on,
my
but I didn't know the
audience
rest of his crew had
how
one on,
this moron who's been dogging me supposedly and sending people to, debate me and this and that. I'm going to put
Thank
this
you,
to
Anonymous
rest once and
Cheer.
for all. If Steven Crowder was as much of a man as he
Rob
seems
Lobster,
to,
thank you for
to
the
be with
for
his
subscribing tier
you know,
one. That's
all
a
his
plugin.
weightlifting and
Yeah.
his gun and his holster.
Three
He's
more
got-
subbies?
He's got a weapon, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I'm coming unarmed. Hands up. If you want to shoot, go ahead
How
and
much
shoot.
alpha brain do you think he takes in the morning?
He's probably juicing. And the idea that he had at least a week in advance knowledge that he couldn't come prepared to debate somebody who actually reads this stuff and spends their time doing this is almost like the saddest thing that one could say about Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
almost.
some other things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Steven.
It's really sad. I mean, I was looking forward to
But
it
and
because
it's
I
the
really wanted
ultimate
to exchange
irony,
with
right?
shit.
As you've pointed out, is that he's the
Thank you, Brian C84, for saving this. I swear, in the last second, saved by the literal last second. Thank you for keeping this hype chain alive, Brian C84. Thank you. Thank you so much.
the guy who got famous for with the debate me. You can't, if you're the debate me guy, that's your claim to fame. You
True.
can't dodge people that want to debate you, Steven. You gotta own this thing that you create, this image you created. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. You're like, come on, Steven. I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire them.
Honestly, yeah, I think
I'm
maybe
calling
it's
on
time
retiring those holsters today.
normalize wearing a squirt gun instead is what I would say to him. You'd have
I
to, or
agree.
maybe like a Nerf. They'd have to have like a Nerf weapon. Like, I don't, is he old enough to now like have a license for a handgun, or he doesn't need to anymore? Yeah, I mean, I think honestly,
Polly, thank you for the
I think
100
we should
biddies.
need to have a meeting with his dad and
Yeah, I have his
bring
email
his father.
now, so I'll be. Maybe we should email him. Just say, we think that.
I don't know if his dad will be answering any of my emails after today.
After today, we're gonna have to ask for his badge and
look,
weapon.
We're both fathers. I can't tell you how disappointed I would be in my son if he did what Steven did.
Ripswood, thank you for giving
so
a tier 1 sub to
disappointed,
Polly.
son.
Platypus, thank you so much.
Yeah, son.
I just my son had his final Pony League baseball game yesterday, and I saw more courage from some of those 8-year-olds than we witnessed from Steven Crowder today. I mean, I would say probably like a good 3 or 4 of them were a lot tougher than Crowder. One
Yeah.
got hit with the ball, the other one tripped.
Yeah.
And
that's
one of them didn't have their favorite hat, but they all played through it. They
Right.
all played through
Inspiring.
it. And sad that
Did you-
Steven.
Did you find it interesting too how he wouldn't put the camera on him for a minute? It was just on his sidekick.
Yeah, what do you think was going on? Do you think he was like going like, Dad,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Dad
yeah,
in here.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
Dad in here.
Yeah.
Get Dad in here now.
I think you might see Ginger for
But
the
I'm glad he
150.
finally brought it back because I was like, what is with the sidekick? Why are you throwing him under the bus?
I know it. And the sidekick had to pretend like he was a big fan of mine. And
He had to
that's
come
why
in
they've
real
been
quick, yeah.
monitoring the show. That is.
His
Wow.
sidekick wasn't even drunk yet. It is early. Usually that guy's pissed drunk by the time they do their show.
To be honest, like I have the only time I think I've watched an extended run of Crowder's show was when he was talking about you. I was trying to figure out like how did this start, and he was really drippily condescending for a guy who is afraid to actually test his beliefs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I haven't seen him so weak since watching him get punched in the face and dropping like a house of cards
By an old
in
man, right?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know if you knew this.
True.
So Crowder, when he was complaining about what happened on YouTube to him, he put out a compilation video of people responding to when he got decked by a union guy in Wisconsin at the 2011 march protest against Scott Walker. And in that compilation,
Is it 2011?
I was in it. And he put the video out. And then he pulled it back and cut me out of the compilation and reposted it on Twitter. Do we have that stuff?
Oh, wow.
Three more subbies?
He is definitely
Three more
afraid of you.
subbies to level 4?
It is.
Really okay?
Somebody on Twitter saw it and sent it in. We did a video about it, but it is weird.
He is deathly afraid.
And how he pretends. That's the thing I don't get. Like, how do you spend so much time worrying about somebody?
Be in
that
the
you
ocean.
think
Thank
is
you for the
not
521
big enough
subbies.
To
Also, if you're in a little bit of a bind, a little bit of a pickle, please don't feel obligated to contribute. Being here, being a part of this community, being part of the conversation, that is great, and that's all we want from you. If that's what you can do, we don't want to push you. So just so you know, don't feel obligated. We're happy to have you regardless. Thank you, teacher, for the 2 tier 1 subbies.
even like
Well,
discuss.
who is he supposed to debate then, if not you?
I don't know.
Yeah, me? I'm not a political debater.
Your time is
I'm
absolutely
just some
enough.
dumbass. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I contribute by filming myself as I pick my nose. I don't understand what that means. Could you clarify what that means? We'll go ahead and get that response real quick. I don't have a meaning. I just thought you might get a laugh out of it.
Maybe he's trolling through to find makeup tutorial sites that have like 2 million
Bloggers,
subscribers,
yeah.
or anybody who doesn't
Minecrafters
know.
have a lot of subs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's some Minecrafters my son watches that maybe he'd like to debate on some of these issues.
Right.
Dream stance.
Wow.
All right. Well, we got him, dude.
Yeah, that was fun. I appreciate your attempting to further the discourse, Ethan. I mean, that's the thing.
And that's all I care about. In the end of
Yeah,
the day, I just wanted to put forward the best conversation possible to inform the most people possible. But Steven today wasn't able to do that for us.
I know, it's so sad.
It's a
but
disappointment.
You gave him the opportunity.
And I hope his dad does have a stern talking to, like, son, this is the way to behave. This was not the proper way to behave.
Act
in
like a
this
man
situation.
next time.
And gives him a good fatherly talk.
There's been times where I've said to my son, we're going to call up blankety blank's dad or mom, and you're gonna get on the phone and you're gonna apologize. And so I just want to say, I'm sure I don't want to speak for you, but we'll be very gracious when Steven's dad calls and puts Steven on the phone.
When someone apologizes, you accept that.
Yeah,
You know, because you have to
I want
swallow.
to make that absolutely clear that if Steven calls to apologize, I'm going to be gracious about it.
Yeah, that's funny. You just reminded me. He kept telling me. I respect anyone that enters the ring, and I'll make my fans known of that. I respect that you're willing to enter the ring.
A journal, Borelli. Sometimes the jokes, they are veering so close to something that I almost identify that it's not a joke, that isn't funny, that makes me think twice. Like, are you saying this because it's a genuine joke and you're trying to get a laugh, or are you trying to take it a step further? And are you saying something that you hope I will recognize to try to elicit some sort of response? And genuine. The pony song, you know, the genuine, the word, not the person. So sometimes that happens. Ride it, feeling fancy already. Yes. Genuine. Like we're across the bloody pond. We're level 5. Thank you all so much for your contributions to this hype train. Keeping it going to level 5. Last level, genuine. I guess genuine does sound really fancy. It reminds me of Brandywine. Brandywine, Pennsylvania, which is like, I don't know, real fancy part of Pennsylvania, but like very rural part of Pennsylvania too. A lot of old money. Kind of like Westchester County. The Shire.
Ring with me. And apparently he doesn't respect that about you.
No, I guess not.
You don't have
he
enough
wants me-
subscribers.
I don't have enough subscribers to earn the respect to enter the ring. When you enter the ring,
$1 million
you
is
must
a lot.
do
but
so.
it's apparent. I'd like to know at what point you are capable of entering the ring. And I'll
What's
try to
the
get,
subscriber
Yeah,
threshold?
what is
Because the first
exactly.
time he made this argument, I only had, I think, 500,000 subscribers, and then I feel like the goalposts are like he's dragging them with him as he runs along down the field, and they're just getting further and further.
Yeah,
away.
I mean, I'll try to get more intel on that for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And maybe folks can reach out to him on Twitter and ask him politely. How far are the goalposts?
Let's find out so that we can have something to work towards.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you can ask Steven, how many subs does Sam need to be worthy of the big stage?
Because I'll stick at it just to hit that number.
Well, we could buy you subs, or we can work something out.
That's true.
Yeah.
We could just buy the subs.
Yeah.
That really occurred to me, but yes,
We'll
I
figure
should
it
have done
out.
that. I should have done that today. I should have bought a
we'll be like,
million
hold on,
subs.
Steven. Give me a minute.
All right. Well,
Has Crowder
I've
responded
got
to this?
My show, the pre-record is going to end in about 20 minutes. The one that is there almost exclusively for Steven and his dad. I hope they're enjoying
And it worked. They
did
watched
work.
it. Amazing.
He's tweeted something?
Amazing that he admit that.
Oh
For
my
a
God,
for a parent smart guy, he really shouldn't have said that.
that was probably the biggest mistake he made.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
And the second one was coming after me.
Yeah. That was probably the first mistake he made, and then there were subsidiary mistakes that followed.
All right,
Yes.
Sam.
Ethan, it was a pleasure. I can't
All right.
thank you enough for the opportunity. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Stephen
This was
wasn't up
great.
to it.
Yeah. Apologies to Steven and his dad for.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Just feel.
Can't wait for 7 a.m.
All right.
tomorrow.
All right.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
You too.
Damn, all right. What's this? If you're wondering why the majority aspect ratio is bad, you'll find out in the in the fun half, but it's very funny and it involves Crowder melting down.
And I do like
Can't
to
even
think
read
that, I mean, it's really hard to get leftist guests on our show. That's just a reality. We try and book them.
Crowder doesn't think there's a rape culture.
I usually do try and get into an engagement of ideas.
Steven Crowder, so interesting. You know, now that we're talking about Steven Crowder, 3 or 4 months ago, I was invited to Politicon.
Oh no, we are in Hail Mary territory, 0 down, 100% to go. Any big gifters, any saviors in this house?
When they asked me if I would come, I said, yeah, I will if I can debate someone. Now, of course, I threw out Dave Rubin, and I was told that he's not coming. Competition would start kicking in. And so I said, Crowder. And the people were like, great. And it all looked good. And I was told that Steven Crowder literally stopped responding to their emails. Pretty sure the quote was, somebody got cold feet. Steven Crowder, I am issuing you a challenge to debate. I will host you on any time, any platform, any way to debate. Really, the question that Steven Crowder should ask his Alexa is, do I have the fortitude to debate Sam Seder?
No, you are not courageous enough to face a middle-aged Jew who likes facts and figures. You are a coward.
Steven, I know you are watching or hearing this, and everybody else knows it too. There's no way you're not aware that I've issued this challenge now. You knew it was coming when you backed out of Politicon because you were afraid of debating me. And here it is. Steven, we'll see you soon.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but you can wear your not gay t-shirt and you can have an opening statement, right? You'll let him have the opening statement, I'm assuming.
Oh, sure.
Oh, God.